Matthew Berry, boy, you not that scary. Nah. Back to back from my league mates who didn't hear me clearly. Back to back from my roommate that I be beating yearly. Suck, dude. Back to back for the people that just be worse than Cleary. Whoa.
Good afternoon and happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. It is Jimmy Foosball here, bringing you the HFL Week 11 recap. Let's go over our first matchup. We have Zach versus David. David getting his second W of the year. Zach loses his second straight game. Therefore, his prediction of winning 6 of his last 7 games did become a failure for Zach. We have the number 1 QB in the league traded to him from David. Josh Allen putting up 22.5 points. Devontae Adams 17.7 points. Cooper Kupp gets injured. He only drops 1.6 points. For the other side, David, he's on his team is clicking a little bit more as of late. Sam Howell 17.7 points. Saquon 28 points. Tank Dell, who was a piece in the trade, putting up 25.9 points. Evan Ingram, another piece in the trade, putting up 4.9 points. And the Buffalo defense putting up 21 points for David. At this current moment in time, Zach has a 16% chance of making the playoffs. This could be the first time in 8 years, I believe, that Zach falls into the consolation bracket. We'll keep you updated on his journey. Got a must-win situation next week. Yeah, but this is the trade matchup here. So who do you guys think won the trade? Was it David? Was it Zach? Are they both winners? Let us know below. Zach currently sits at 5-6. David Butler sitting at 2-9. In our next matchup, we have kind of a blowout. It's a game between Finnk and Bardi. Finnk putting up 95.34 points. Bardi putting up a very nice 142.24 points. Joe Burrow 8.74 points. He leaves with the injury done for the season. Devin Singletary stepping up in the absence of Dameon Pierce, putting up 19.8 points. Mike Evans, 12.8 points. On the other side, for Lombardi, you got CJ Stroud, 16.34 points. Tony Pollard scoring for the first time since week 1. He puts up 16 points. Joe Mixon, 18.5 points. Brandon Ayuk, huge game, 25.1 points. And Tyler Bubble Bass with 16 points. Lombardi has a 94% chance of making the playoffs, according to ESPN. Finnk has a 52% chance. Bardi is ranked 2 in the league at 7-4. Finnk 6-5. In our third matchup, one of, if not the biggest rivalry in the HFL. We also have our performer of the week. This may not come as a surprise to anybody here. Frank versus JD. The diss track came out earlier in the week. Frank went back to back with the diss track. Still no response from JD. JD does make his first appearance on the podium though since week 5. So if you want to check that out.
JD, you're rostering 2 kickers and still have Dalvin Cook on your bench. What do you have to say to people that call you the worst fantasy manager of all time?
I'm not even close, so I don't know if you could put a quote on that or whoever said it. I'd love to hear it.
I highly recommend. So we got Intimidation Infinite versus Fratty Jones. Intimidation puts up a very impressive 171.7. Fratty Jones putting up 89.16. Damn near a 100-point blowout. Going through our performer of the week, Frank's lineup. Jalen Hurts, 18.9 points. Brian Robinson, 16.6. Gus Edwards, 20. Tyreek Hill, 26. Keenan Allen, 23. George Kittle, 19. Devontae Smith, 12.9. Puka Nacua, 16.2. Minnesota D, 4. And Jason Myers, 14. On the other side for JD, Lamar Jackson, 23.96 points. Alexander Matty with a big fumble. I've seen his coaches talking about on Twitter what they're going to do with him after that fumble. Who knows? Rashad White, 14.8. Jamar Chase, 8.2. Got to talk about the Garrett Wilson, -0.1. DeAndre Hopkins, 13.9. Frank has a 99% chance of making the playoffs. JD has a 23% chance. If you watch the post-week interview, JD predicts he's making the playoffs. Is he just talking the talk, or can he walk the walk? We will find out next week, as he has a very important battle against Zach. Frank currently sits at number 1 in the HFL with a record of 8-3. JD with a record of 5-6. Our next matchup is going to be our game of the week. Sadly, our game of the week has the duck of the week. In a pretty low scoring game, we have Boston versus Cleary. Boston getting the W with 19.16 points to Cleary's 83.48. In this matchup, Dak Prescott puts up 16.16 points. Aaron Jones leaves with an injury, only putting up 2.2 points. I mean, everyone's pretty low scoring here. But of course, you got to talk about his saving grace so far this season. The Dallas defense putting up 23 points against the Carolina Panthers. So Cleary is our duck of the week, 83.48 points. So let's go over his lineup here real quick. Jordan Love, 21.88. Breece Hall, 15.8. Ty Chandler, 13 points. A.J. Brown with a surprising 1.3. Marquise Brown, 2.2. Laporta, 5.3. Rashee Rice, 6.2. Trey McBride, 6.8. New York Jets defense, 2. And Evan McPherson, 9. Not many people reaching double digits here. In fact, only 3 of his players make it to double-digit points. Overall, you know, kind of a weaker matchup here. Boston has a 64% chance of making the playoffs right now. He's currently on a 2-win streak. The commish, Boston sitting at a 6-5 record, and Cleary with a 3-8 record. The next matchup is going to be between JP and Gabe. Gabe gets the W over JP, 115.98 to 101. For John Parente, he starts Jared Goff, 13.7 points, struggles this week. DJ Moore, 19.1 points. Miami defense, 13 points. Brandon McManus, I guess, 10 points. For Gabe, you got Patrick Mahomes, 16.88 points. CMC, 18 points. DeAndre Swift, 18 points. DK Metcalf, 18 points. Cortland Sutton, 14.6 points. Right now, JP has a 73% chance of making the playoffs. Gabe has a 65% chance. But like I said, you know, the race is very tight right now for everybody. John P currently sits with a 6-5 record. Gabe also with a 6-5 record. And our last matchup to go over for week 11. It's a very injury-filled matchup here. We got Mr. Miami Joe versus Austin 316 Mike edging out the W, 108.3 to Joe's 92.2 points. Joe starts Tua, he puts up 18.6. Ken Walker leaves with an injury very early into the game, only putting 2.1 points on the board. Same story for Devon Achane, he leaves the game very early as well, only putting up 1 point on the board. Calvin Ridley has a 28.6 point game. The Tennessee defense gives him a donut. Travis Kelce, 11.9 points. On the other side for Mike, Justin Herbert, 25.7 points. Austin Eckler, only 6 points. David Montimo Montgomery, 16.8 points. Amon Ross, 17.7 points. Mark Andrews leaves early Thursday night with an injury. He is out for the remainder of the season. James Cook, 17.7 points. Joe, currently with a 23% chance of making the playoffs. Mike with a 90% chance of making the playoffs as of right now. Austin 316 with a 7-4 record. He is ranked 3rd. Mr. Miami Joe with a 5-6 record. And currently on the screen, you will see our HFL standings. Might not come as a surprise to most of you if you've been keeping up. You could take a look right here. I'll go over through it in the editing room. Is the injured reserves Matt Cleary, is he eliminated or not? I saw an E next to his name at one point. I don't know if it's currently there right now or not. Right now, Team Intimidation looks like he can't do any wrong. Sitting at the top with an 8-3 record. Lombardi and Mike both 7-4, sitting at 2-3 respectively. Parente, Kamish, Gabe, and Finnk all sitting at 6-5. We have JD, Joe, Zach sitting at 5-6. The injured reserves at 3-8, and the manager sitting at 2-9. Like I said at the beginning of this video, 3 weeks left. It's gonna make or break, people. It's gonna be very entertaining. It's gonna be very fun. And you know we're gonna cover everything here with the HFL recaps. You know I got you. Jimmy Foosball. Just excited for some more football, man. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.